Hi everyone, so today we're going to be looking at big maths and this is for CLIC 19, solving 2 decimal places plus 1 decimal place using a mental strategy. So let's get started. What we need to look at are the steps that you need to do in order to be successful. So whenever we're solving a problem, we need to make sure to line up the numbers correctly into their place order, their place value. We need to look at adding the units. Then we add the tenths, then we add the hundredths, and then we add up all the totals. A good way to remember is that everything that we're adding, we're moving in the direction towards the right. Okay, so it's the opposite way to how we would do it with a written strategy. For example, a column sum. The column we have to solve is 3.65 plus 6.4. Now the first thing I do is I check again at my success criteria and I remember I have to line up all the numbers, okay? So I've done that, I've lined everything up into the place value, that the place value here represents tenths, so I will be adding that to the 6 tenths over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add up my units, okay? So I could use this strategy if I wanted. Do 3 plus 6 equals 9, okay? Now in my mind, I would be working that out and holding the 9, remembering it was 9 and just putting it to one side just now. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag my tenths down, okay? And I have 0.6 plus 0.4. Now it's very important that when you do this, you put them into the correct place values and use your 0 to hold that place, or else you will end up adding 6 plus 4 or 6 plus 0.4, okay? Always do this. So now that I'm looking at that, okay, well I know that 6 plus 4 is 10, so 0.6 plus 0.4 will mean that I have 1, because it's moving over onto the next place value. And just sometimes to keep you right, it might just help just to put the place value of the 0 back in again, just so it holds that spot so that you don't get mixed up, but it is one whole number, okay? Now what I need to do is I need to look at my hundredths. So I have nothing on this place value, but I do have something here. So I'm going to drag that down there and I'm going to do 0.05, okay, plus 0. I have absolutely nothing to add to that, so I don't need to put any extra place values in, any extra zeros to hold the place value, because I know there's nothing there. So my answer there would be 0.05. Now what I need to do is I need to put all these numbers together. So remembering here, we followed the success criteria, we've lined the numbers up, we're adding the units, we've added the tenths, we've now added the hundredths, so now we need to add the totals, okay? So, and don't forget, we're working our way from left to right, the opposite way to what we would do for a written strategy. So in my head, I start to say, right, okay, so what did I have for my units? I had 1 unit, 9 units. However, my tenths added up to one whole number. So I didn't have 9 units. In total, I had 10 units. So 10 units, and I know I'm going to be adding in a decimal place because I still have 5 tenths left. I have 5 hundredths left, sorry. I have nothing in the tenths, but I do have 5 hundredths left. So I'm going to make sure to put the same place value in. So I'm going to put a 0 to hold the place of the tens because there's nothing there. And I'm going to put a 5 in to represent the 5 hundredths. So my answer to this question up here is 10.05. Look at another problem, and this time let's try and cut down on the steps that we're taking to get to the answer. So again, I'm remembering my success criteria, and if I find it very easy to write everything down by partitioning it the way that we did in the previous question, I'm now going to challenge myself to use less steps to write down the answers straight away as they come into my mind, and hopefully we can start to really step further away so it sticks in our heads and we're able to do it without having to write anything down at all. So my first part is I know I need to look at my units. So 7 plus 5 is 12. Well done. Okay, now my next step is I'm going to do 0.9 plus 0.9, and I know that that would give me 9 plus 9 is 18. So 0.9 plus 0.9 does not give me 0.18, because that would mean that the value of the 8 is smaller. Okay, and when we add things, we know that they get bigger. Okay, so it cannot be that. So in fact, I know that I'm carrying over that 1 into one whole, what to become one whole number. So it becomes 1.8. Okay, now the next step I need to do is look at my hundreds. So I don't have anything in this hundreds, and I don't have anything in this hundreds. So now I have 0 in the hundreds. So now what I have to do is put all of these numbers together. So I'm going to add them together, and they equal, so let's see, I'm starting from the left to the right. So my largest place value here is my tens. Okay, so I have 12 plus 1 is 13. So my total is 13.8. Now, if you're feeling confident with the last strategy, let's try and see if we can hold the information in our heads. So we're going to remember our success criteria, okay? And we're going to hold the information in our head and see if we can make the numbers stick until we get the answer, okay? So let's try it. So we're going to start with the units. So 5 plus 9 is 14. Let's hold that information there, 14. Now I'm going to look at the tenths, and we have 0.9 plus 0.4, which I know would make 1.3. So I'm going back to my units and I'm saying, well, I had 14, now I'm doing 14 plus 1.3, so that will give me 15.3. And now look at my hundredths, and I have 0.09 plus nothing, because there's nothing in the hundredths here. So my answer to this question, I'll just double check again. I have 14, 9 and 4 make 1.3, so my answer is 15.3 and the 9 hundredths. And that's how we hold it in our head. We must go through those 3 different steps, so the 2 different steps before we're comfortable doing this. And it's all about training our minds to hold that information, okay? I want you now to try the questions by yourself and see if you can solve them. Use any strategy you need, but let me know at the end how you got on, okay?